वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। तस्मै नमः परम कारण कारणाय दीप्तो ज्वलज्वलित पिङ्गललोचनाय नागेन्द्रहार कृतकुण्डलभूषणाय ब्रह्मेन्द्र विष्णु वरदाय नमः शिवाय। ओम नमो नारायणाय। ओम नमो नारायणाय। हरि ओम नमो नारायणाय। वंदे गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हे लंबोदर गजानना। वंदे गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हे लंबोदर गजानना। वंदे गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हे लंबोदर गजानना। रिद्धि सिद्धि के दाता तुम हो, रिद्धि सिद्धि के दाता तुम हो, हे शशि शेखर नंदना। हे शशि शेखर नंदना। वंदे गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हे लंबोदर गजानना। वंदे गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हे लंबोदर गजानना। जो ध्यावे वांछित फल पावे, जो ध्यावे वांछित फल पावे। अग्रदेव तुम्हें वंदना, अग्रदेव तुम्हें वंदना। वंदे गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हे लंबोदर गजानना। काम क्रोध मद लोभ आदि हरो, काम क्रोध मद लोभ आदि हरो, निर्विकार निर्मल मना, निर्विकार निर्मल मना। वंदे गणपति विघ्न विनाशन, हे लंबोदर गजानना। वंदे गणपति विघ्न विनाशन, हे लंबोदर गजानन। विघ्नेश्वर 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 गजानना। विघ्नेश्वर हे विघ्नेश्वर विघ्नेश्वर गजानना। विघ्नेश्वर हे विघ्नेश्वर विघ्नेश्वर गजानना। विघ्नेश्वर हे विघ्नेश्वर विघ्नेश्वर गजानना। गजाननं भूतगणादिसेवितं, कपित्तजम्बोफलचारुभक्षणम्, उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारकं नमामि विघ्नेश्वर पादपङ्कजं। बोले गणपति भगवान की जय। Today we've done Kalash Puja, Ganesh Puja and so on in the temple. Now we do some invocation to Satya Narayan Bhagavan. Om Namo Narayana। ध्याये सत्यं गुणातीतं गुणत्रय समन्वितं, लोकनाथं त्रिलोकेशं कौस्तुभावर्णं हरिं। नीलवर्णं पीतवस्त्रं श्रीमत्सपथभूषितं, गोविन्दं गोकुलानन्दं ब्रह्माधैरपि पूजयेत्। नारायण 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 हे नारायण। नारायण 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 हे नारायण 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 हे नारायण 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 हे नारायण 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 हे नारायण। हे माधवा 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 हे माधवा। नारायण 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 हे नारायण 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 हे नारायण। ब्राह्मणों बाहुस्य मुखमासीत् बाहुराजन्यकृत उरुत्तदस्व यद्वेषां पद्भ्यां शूद्रो अजायत धूपदीपनिवारणाय नमः चन्द्रमां मनसो जातः चक्षो सूर्यो अजायत मुखादन्द्रश्च अग्निश्च प्राणाद्वायुरजायत श्री सत्यनारायणे नमः ॐ नैवेदयामि नमः ॐ नमो नारायणाय नमः बोले सत्यनारायण स्वामी की जय हरि ओम नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णु प्रचोदयात् बोले सत्यनारायण स्वामी की जय Today is we are in the Damodar Mass, as you know, or Kartik month, Damodar Mass. You all remember what that is? Krishna Bhagavan was tied by his waist by his mother. That's why he's called Damodar, the one whose waist was tied. And we chant this beautiful Govinda Damodar Stotram to Bhagavan Narayana and ask for him to bless our entire community, bless our families. We're so blessed in the month of Kartik. In India, they're so, you know, if you call, right now, if you call people in India, in Vrindavan, for example, the tailors, the dukanwala, the shop people, they won't even talk to you because it's the month of Kartik. The Kartik month, they're so busy. They said, Palaji, call me back after November 13th. Can't talk to you now. They're so busy doing service to Narayan. The shops are so busy. People are buying, taken to the temples. There's so many kathas everywhere. I saw this morning 25,000 people was Devakinandan Katha. They were listening. 25,000. It's a lot of people. Right? I was showing pictures the other day. People have a thirst still for this thing called Katha, for the name of the Lord, because as I said this morning in the Katha, Shivji Bhagwan tell Mata Parvati that in this age of Kali Yuga, the name of God is like, when you take the name of God, is like when you clap your hands under a tree, the birds that sit, the birds of doubt on top will vanish. They'll fly away. That's what this morning Katha. The name of Ram Bhagwan, the name of Bhagwan in this age of Kali Yuga, when you take that name, what happens? Doubts will disappear in your life. What was the example I used this morning? We are so doubtful of everything. We are doubtful of everything. And when we doubt everything, we are so focused on clarifying that doubt that, you know, I doubt whether that is true, I doubt whether that is real. And our entire lives is spent clarifying doubts, not focusing on the self. So let us chant a few verses of the Govinda Damodar Sutram and ask Bhagwan Sri Narayan to bless all of you so that you never will be tied down by anything, by anyone, or never be tied down by yourself. Because sometimes we are the biggest barrier to our own success. Remember, chapter 6 of the Gita. The chapter 6 of the Gita says, we are our best friend and we are our worst enemy. Let Bhagwan free us. Let the Lord free us from anything that we are tied down to, be it anything, surprises, emotionally, physically, whatever it is. Damodar Stotram, let the Lord free all of you. Govinda Damo Dharmadhaveti Govinda Damo Dharmadhaveti Agre Kurunayat Pandavana Dushasanena Hritavasrakesha Krishna Tada Krodashananyanatha Govinda Damodar Madhaveti Govinda दामोदर माधवेति गोविंद दामोदर माधवे. Everybody. गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति. श्री कृष्ण विष्णु मधुकैत भारे भक्तानुकाम्पिन भगवन् मुरारे त्रायस्य मां केशव लोकनाथ गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति. विक्रेतु कामाखिल गोप कन्या मुरारी पादार्पित चेत वृद्ध दध्याधिकं मोहवशादवोचत गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति. उल्लूखले संभृततन्दलाशं संघतयन्तो मुसले प्रमुग्धा गायन्ति गोप्ये जनितानुराग गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति 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 गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति. गृहे गृहे गोप वधू समूह प्रदक्षिणं पिञ्जरसारिकानं रसपिल्लयं वाचिततुं प्रवृत्ते गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति. बोले गोविंद भगवान की, नारायण भगवान की. My pranam to all of you in the temple, and of course to those devotees online who are joining us. Today is the fourth day of our Satya Vrat Katha, and we're all very blessed to be here to perform the puja and to listen to Satyanarayan Katha. Bhagwan Satyanarayana came and he was accessible to everyone. He was accessible to the beggar, he was accessible to the king, he's accessible to the merchant, he's accessible to the householders. He's not restricted to anyone in particular. But for us to access that Lord, we have to have a lot of faith. What is this faith that we're talking about? In my opinion, today's Katha, the fourth chapter of Satyanarayan Katha, is not the most important one, but the most interesting one. Because I think at this point in life that we're living, due to current events in the world, this here is the most practical one. Satya Narayan Bhagwan Katha, for it or for Bhagwan himself to work in our life, we have to have a certain amount of shraddha in him, faith. What is this faith that we're talking about? Once, Narad Muni met another time, another incident. He met Bhagwan Vishnu. And he said, Bhagwan Vishnu, so many people in the world, can you tell me who is your best devotee? Right? Who is your best devotee? So many people in this world, who is your best devotee? Bhagwan Vishnu says, Naraji, why is it that you want to know who's my best devotee? Naraji said, Prabhu, day and night I'm chanting, Narayan, Narayan, Jai Jai Govind Hare. Narayan, Narayan, Jai Jai Gopal Hare. Narayana every day. Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. From one lok to the next lok. That's why his name is Loki. You know Loki? You don't know Loki? Anybody? You're not Marvel fan. Anybody watch Marvel here? The kids? You guys? You know Loki? What is his, what's the interesting about him? He goes from one planet to the next, all over the place. Loki come from the word lok. Lok means a place, a planet. And in a jiff of a moment, he goes to the next place. So his name is Loki. Naraji says, Prabhu, I am chanting Narayan, Narayan every day, Narayan, Narayan every day. Am I not your best devotee? Now what is the Lord going to tell Narad? He doesn't want Narad to feel bad, because at that time, I suppose there was no lima call. If you feel bad, you can't dose him down. So Bhagwan said, he had to put on his little diplomatic shoes or his hat. He said, Narad, I will tell you where to go find my devotee, my best devotee. He said, go in a particular village, Narad, and you will go to two houses. One house, you'll go, and you'll see this man. He has chandan on his forehead, Janeu Sanskar done, dhoti, kurta, everything he wears, and you'll see a big murti, Bhagwan Vishnu there, myself. When you go to him, I want you to go to him first. And the second person I want to go is to a farmer. You will never meet him in his home because he's so skinny and bony. He's always working at the back. He's probably grazing cow and things like that. Go to him second. Say, okay, but Prabhu, what am I going to tell them when I go? He says, when you go, you see the one with the chandan in his forehead, Janeo and all this kind of thing, big Murti Bhagwan Vishnu in his home. When you go, tell him you're Narad. He'll say, Arey bhai, Narad, what is my Lord doing? And when he asks what my Lord is doing, tell him your Lord Bhagwan Vishnu, when you last saw him, he was taking an elephant and he's pushing it through the eye of a needle. He says, Prabhu, what? He says, yeah. Tell him that your Lord Vishnu Bhagwan was taking an elephant and pushing it through the eye of a needle. He said, okay, what should I tell the other one? The man who will graze cow and things like that. He said, you tell him the same. When he asks you how Prabhu is doing, tell him the same. Narad says, what kind of business is this? This is very unusual. Narad thought he was the biggest devotee of the Lord. The Lord did not deny him that right. So what happened? Naraji come to this lok of Mrityu lok. Narayan, Narayan. He goes, he knocks at the door of the man with the big Vishnu Murti. Nice chandan forehead, smells so beautiful. Agarbati, diya. Bhagwan Narayan Murti there, he's walking around, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva, no. Naraji said, Narayan, Narayan. When the man heard that, he says, Naraji, kaise Prabhu? How are you? And things like that. Narad says, I'm okay. The man says, Narad, how is my Lord doing? When you left him, what he was doing? Naraji says, Arey bhai, your Bhagwan, when I left him, he was pushing an elephant through the eye of a needle. He says, what? He says, yes. Bhagwan, when I left him, he's pushing an elephant through the eye of a needle. He says, no way Bhagwan can do that. An elephant through the eye of a needle? Na mumkin. Not possible. Tell me the truth. What was Bhagwan doing? Narad says, Narayan, Narayan. Narayan, Narayan. Naradji bowed to him. Naradji went away. He said, must tell Prabhu hi when you go back and see him. Hey, tell Prabhu hi. Good, good. Naradji gone. He went to the other man, just like he was told he couldn't find the man home, because the man was grazing cow and thing. And he gave a little saspan, you eat and so. He says, Narayan, 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 Narayan. Man says, Narayan? Are, kahan hai Narayan? He looks, he sees Narad Muni. Ashtang, Sastang, Pranam. He bowed down to Narad Muni. He gave his Pranam. He said, Naradji, you're so here, I'm so blessed. Santan ke sangalagare, teri achhi bari hai. Whenever you meet a sant, you know, I'm so touched to have your presence. My entire land is blessed. I am blessed. My sight is blessed. He starts to show appreciation for the presence of a sant, a saint. Naradji says, wow. He says, Naradji, tell me, what is my Prabhu doing when you left him? What was he doing? Naradji said, ha, bhai. When I left your Prabhu, he was pushing an elephant through the eye of a needle. The man says, wow, mera Bhagwan itni powerful hai. My Lord is so powerful that he can push an elephant through the eye of a needle. You get the gist? Govinda, you understand? Right? Those who have faith in Bhagwan, those who know that the Lord is Sarveshwar, He is the Lord of the universe, those who are in love with Bhagwan and understand His true might. If you tell them the Lord is pushing an elephant through the eye of a needle, they will never doubt it. But those who walk out with doubts and want proof for everything, and who is just displaying, I'm not saying it's wrong to put chandan on your head and wear dhoti, but those who are do it for a face and just worshipping Bhagwan because they think they get blessings, doesn't work like that. You must have so much faith that when somebody tells you the Lord was pushing an elephant through the eye of a needle, you must say, wow, wow, wow. Mera Bhagwan itni mahan hai. Mera Bhagwan itni mahan hai. My Lord is so great that He can push an elephant through the eye of a needle. This is the type of faith that we need in order to accept that Bhagwan. That faith is a foundation. Remember, if Bhagwan is going to sit in your heart, avahanam, asanam. Asanam is not only here. Asan is when you give the Lord a seat in your heart. Because when you leave a puja room, he's still there. You got to go now, and you got to go places. You have to give the Lord a seat in your heart. That is why today's Katha is, in my mind, the most practical and the most applicable to all the Satyanarayan Katha. What did we leave off with last night? Anybody remember? Merchant, sadhu. He made promises and promises and promises because he thought he can fool God. He thought that God was his boss. He thought that God was his boss, he could fool God. One day, a boss asked his employee, hey Rob, do you think that the living can come back do you think that the dead can come back alive? Rob says, what? The dead can come back to life? How is that possible? That's not possible. The boss says, well, yes, it's possible. Because yesterday, remember, you took off half day to go to your uncle's funeral? He came looking for you this morning. Huh? He came looking for you this morning? So do you believe that the dead can come back to life? You can't fool God if you can fool your boss. You can't. That's the lesson yesterday we learned. So he thought that he could make this promise to Bhagwan. Bhagwan will give him a daughter, and then he will forget about it. The Lord reminded him last night that you have to fulfill. What are we without our word? What is a man without their word? What is a human being without their word? We would just be like the animals. They live, they eat, they procreate, they sleep, they wake up back again, they walk about. That is the animalistic behavior. If we don't give value to our word, then who are we? He made promise to Bhagwan, I will do this and that for you. And he consciously did not fulfill those promises. The Lord reminded him. What happened? His wife, Lilavati, and his daughter, Kalavati, they went into poverty. Then the son-in-law, him and the father-in-law went, and they were arrested by the king. When the daughter realized that Satyanarayan puja was done, told the mother, they performed the puja. The Lord was pleased, released them from prison. Now, when they were released from the prison, they were given back their wealth and everything. And what happened now? Merchant became very happy. He said, I have my wealth back. My boat is loaded. Look at my boat. My boat is, almost sinking with so much wealth inside. He took his son-in-law. And what happened? Jai Jai Satya Narayan, Narayan Narayan, Satya Narayan, Narayan Narayan, Satya Narayan, Narayan Narayan, Satya Narayan, Narayan Narayan, Swami Narayan, Narayan Narayan, Swami Narayan, Narayan Narayan. Yatram tu kritavan sadhur mangalayana purvikam brahmanaya dhanam dattva tadatu nagaram gaye kiyat dure gate sadho satyanarayana prabhu jigyasam kritavan sadhu kimasti tavane stitam Narayan 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 Satya Narayan 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 Tato mahajano matto helaya cha prahasyave katham pritchasi me dandin mudrani tum kimachasi lalapatradikam chaiva vartate tarano mama nishturam cha vashashutva satyam bhavatu te vacha Narayan 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 Satya Narayan 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 Satya Narayan 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 Satya Narayan 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 Swami Narayan 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 Swami Narayan 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 Yatram tu kritavan. Suji Shaunakadi se कहते हैं, Suji Maharaj is narrating this katha, that हे ऋषियों, वहाँ साधु वैश्य यात्रा से पहले ब्राह्मणों को दक्षिणा देकर मंगल पूर्वक अपने नगर को चले. So he gave all the Brahmins and so dakshina, and he's going back to his village now. जब कुछ दूर पर गए तब भगवान ने विचार किया कि देखें इनका मन शुद्ध हुआ कि नहीं, इसलिए दंडी स्वामी का रूप धारण करके बनिया से पूछा कि तुम्हारा नाव में क्या है. Bhagwan, this man just came out of jail. You know, when wrong thing happened to us and we pay a little thing and so on, the old people will ask you, you not learn your lesson yet? Or did you learn any lesson from that? Right? You made a mistake, you got punished for it, fine. You come out of it now, are you going to learn? Bhagwan is in the heavens, and he said, wait a minute. I freed this guy, and I want to see if his mind became purified. देखने इनका मन शुद्ध हुआ कि नहीं? Is his mind pure or not? So you know what the Lord did? Is he Dandi Swami ka roop? Dandi Swami. Old Swami, the Lord came down from the heaven. Bhagwan Vishnu, are bhai, he is dressed in Shankha Chakra Gadapan, Kundal, Kano mein Kundal, everything, gold and everything. He left all of that and he came down in the form of an old Swami. Swamiji. And he went now in the pathway of the merchant and his son-in-law as they were coming. And he asked them, Are bhai, baniya se pucha, तुम्हारा नाव में क्या है? What is in your boat? What is in your boat? So imagine, maybe I get boat and thing, but imagine your truck full with stacks, lots of wealth and lots of things. Your business is doing awesome. And an old pandit harder comes and say, hey, why you happen to your truck little full of what in your truck? You know what the merchant said? तब धन के मद से उत्तम वे दोनों वैश्य सन्यासी से कहते हैं कि आप क्यों पूछते हैं? They ask him, why are you asking? The merchant asked the Swami, why are you asking what is in my boat? You want some? अरे नहीं नहीं, आप क्यों पूछते हैं? आपको इस दुनिया के प्रपंच से क्या मतलब है? आपको द्रव्य लेने की इच्छा है क्या? इस नाव से कुछ में नहीं है, इस नाव से कुछ में नहीं है। फिर आप तो सन्यासी के आपको अग्नि और द्रव्य इत्यादि का स्पर्श भी शास्त्र में माना है। They insulted the Swami. They insulted him. They said, what you want to know what is in my boat? You have renounced the world. You don't need wealth. You don't need clothing. The little rags you are wearing, that should be sufficient for you. What you want to know is in the boat. Bhai, we could just give a little answer. He said, is मेरा नाव में कुछ नहीं है। अथा हम लोग ते बनिया हैं, हमारे नाव में जो लगा है वह कहते हैं सुनो। इस प्रकार साधु बनिया के निष्ठुर वचन सुनकर दंडी ने कहा कि जो तुम्हारा वचन है वह सत्य, अर्थात तुम्हारे नौका से लत्ता पत्र हो जाए। The trader says, in my boat there is just leaves and hay. Leaves and hay. May know who a ship leaves and hay anyway. He tells Swami, you want to know what's in my boat? Latta patta, leaves and shrubs. इस प्रकार कहकर सन्यासी कहते हैं से चलकर नदी के समीप। And what the Swami says, जो कहते हैं वह वचन सत्य है। Whatever you say is in your boat, may it be truthful, may it become true. And what happened now? The sannyasi, इस प्रकार कहकर सन्यासी जी वहां से लेकर नदी के समीप ही एक स्थान पर बैठे गए। उनके जाने के बाद वैश्य अपना नित्य कर्म के बाद और नौका को देखा कि जल में उतराई होता है। The Swami went away and he sat on a stone and he was meditating. That is Bhagwan. That's Swami. Bhagwan went away. You know what the song says? ना जाने किस रूप में नारायण मिल जाए. We do not know in what form नारायण मिल जाए. पंडित जी हिंदी अच्छी है? हिंदी अच्छी है? मेरा हिंदी अच्छी है? नारायण ना जाने किस रूप में नारायण मिल जाए. We don't know in what form you will reach Bhagwan. You are looking for Bhagwan in Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, but you don't know in what form you will reach Bhagwan. When a dog comes to our door, we must feed that dog. Hey, you can't feed squirrel and thing because you got charged and whatever it is, but you know, chupke, whatever. When a dog shows up at your door, you must feed that dog. Nah? Because na jaane kis roop mein Narayan mil jaye, na jaane kis roop mein aapke pitro mil jaye. You don't know in what form your ancestors will come to your doors one day. Don't try to smart anybody. You can't fool God. When the Swami went away, the merchant saw his boat start to rise from the water like this. The load became light because what is inside now? Latta patta, leaves and shrubs. He lied to the Swami. He lied to the Swami. उनके जाने के बाद वैश्य अपने नित्य कर्म से the boat start to rise. इससे आश्चर्य से परा किया. अभी तो इस नौका को बार बार जला था और थोड़ी देर में यह जल से उतर गई. फिर नौका पर चढ़कर देखा कि जितना जवाहरित इत्यादि सब लगा पत्राली हो गया. That is why I told you last night, wealth is a blessing from God. Whatever we have, whatever it is that we have, you have or you don't have, the Lord knows what you can handle. The Lord knows what you can handle. The poorest people in this world,
are closest to God. You go in India, see all the noblest, they're going to sit and do Ram Nam Hole, Sham Nam Hole, Om Namo Bhagavat. They live in huts, they live in caves, they live in the mountains. It's not like they can't earn. They choose to do that. That is, they're happy doing that. Whatever is given to you is a gift from God. I want you to remember that. If you have wealth, that's a gift from God. If you don't have wealth, the Lord wants it like that. Because He knows what you can handle. You don't know what you can handle. He knows what you can handle. When things are going well in life, you must tell people. Somebody asks you how things are, don't say things bad. Right? If things are going well in your life, things are going well in life. I'm happy. Everybody asks me, how are you? I'm very truthful. I don't tell lie. Everybody these days, Panditji, how are you? I am stressed. Tara asked me again today, how are you? Guruji, how are you? I said, I'm very stressed. What am I going to do, lie to you? Right? Because there's times in our life, they're saying peaks and valleys. You have peaks and valleys in life. Time when you have to function like a machine, and time when you relax and you just throw back. This is the time for us to rev up and do our best for this temple. So I can't lie about it, right? When you lie about it, the Lord says, whatever you say, I will give it to you. When they realize that they lied, who is Satya Narayan Bhagavan? He is the Lord of truth. And what is truth in our life? Satya barabar tap nahi, jhoot barabar paap, jaake hriday satya hai, vaake hriday aap. There is no penance in this world as great as truth. And there is no sin in this world as worse as telling lies. Jhoot barabar paap, jaake hriday satya hai, in whose heart there is truthfulness, the Lord will reside there. Satyavratam satya param trisatyam, satyasya yoni nihitam cha satye, satyasa satyamrita satya netram, satyatmakam tvam sharanam prapanna. Satyavratam. Truth is a vrat in your life. Huh? Truth is a vrat. When you're doing vrat and not eating food, by the way, let me tell you a little about this. When you're doing vrat and you're not eating food, I'm not eating food 54 days or whatever thing we have, I'm not eating food 7 days, that is only fasting from the mouth. Right? You're fasting from jeeb ka vrat hai. The tongue is not tasting, so that's jeeb ka vrat. Don't think that you can escape. You have to do kan ka vrat, aak ka vrat. Your eyes have to look at good things. Your ears cannot listen to bad things anymore. Your mouth cannot gossip. Your mind cannot be in the dustbin. Everything has to be in order to vrat to be completed. You can't not be eating food and then telling lies or setting strife on people. That is not vrat. No? Satya vratam satya param trisatyam. There is no other vrat in this world. I tell people, you eat your food nice and enjoy your food, but always speak the truth. Always speak the truth. Because satyavratam satya param trisatyam. There is no other vrat in this world. This is the Bhagavad shloka, by the way, comes from the Srimad Bhagavatam. There is no other vrat in this world as high and as powerful as satya vrata. As speaking the truth. Satya param trisatyam. Satyavratam satya param trisatyam. Satyasya yoni nihicham cha satya. Satyasya satyamrita satya netram satyatmakam tvam sharanam prapadhe. Because who is Satya? Satya is tvam. You, God, are Satya. So careful about our language in life. Of course, we can be diplomatic if you don't want to reveal things in life, but never ever, don't speak lies. When you tell one lie, you have to tell 1,000 lies to cover that one lie. Right? Tell the truth. Get it out. Let the truth. And work, when we work as well, a lot of times people try to cover up things, sweep it under the mat. It'll be only a matter of time when somebody will find out about it. Bring it out in the open. At least people will know that you're an honest person. Right? He was not truthful. He thinks that the sadhu, anytime people see sadhu and swami and think they want the money. It's not like that. We need money to carry on the community work, that is so, but never ever feel the burden that we are a burden in your life. If you ever feel that we are a burden in your life, then there is a bit of a problem there. When he realized that he lied to the Swami, who is Bhagwan himself, what happened? He went and he begged forgiveness. He begged forgiveness from the Bhagwan. And what happened now? ऐसी दामाद की बता सुनकर साधु वैश्य दंडी स्वामी के पास गया और शीघ्रता की भक्ति पूर्वक दंडवत किया. They went immediately and they fell to the feet of the Swami and they says, Prabhu, you are Bhagwan. In an instant, we gain instantly, or we spend our entire life gaining things. But like this, just like this, by the snap of a finger, what happens? Everything that we have can be diminished from our lives. When that happens, sir dhuna dhuni patitai kala hi karma hi ishwara hi mitya dosha laga. We bang our head on the wall and we say, what have I done to deserve this? Don't ask yourself that question. Karma speaks in the form of results in our life. They went and the adar purvak bola ki maine aapke sameep jhoot kaha. इस अपराध को आप क्षमा कीजिए, प्रभु क्षमा कीजिए. ऐसे बारंबार दंडवत किया और महाशोक के व्याकुल हुआ. उस वैश्य को अत्यंत मिलाप करते हुए देखकर उससे दंडी स्वामी कहते हैं, they said, क्षमा करो, forgive us Prabhu, forgive us for what we have done and bless us. The Swamiji said to him, नहीं तुमसे भूषण चाहित, नहीं तुमसे धन धाम, नहीं तुमसे भोजन चाहत, नहीं तुमसे कछु काम. ना? हे साधु वैश्य, तुम रोते मत. तुमने मेरी पूजा करने हो कहकर नहीं किया, इसलिए हे बुद्धिहीन, मेरी आज्ञा से तुम बारंबार दुख हुआ, इसलिए हे साधु वैश्य सुनो. ऐसा द्वंद्वी की स्वामी का वचन सुनकर वैश्य स्तुति करता है. Now after that they beg forgiveness. The sadhu forgive them. The Bhagwan forgive them, and he blessed them so that they may attain back their wealth in the boat. Bole Satya Narayan Swami ki jai. There's a phase 2 of this Katha. We'll take a break now. All of you come offer prasadam, and I will come and tell you the phase 2 of the same Katha after you've done your prasad and thing like that. If anybody wants to sing and so, come do that now while we have this. Bole Satya Narayan Swami ki. After you offer prasad, please go back to your seat, and then we continue the Katha. Right here. You can come right here to Bhagwan Satya Narayan and offer your prasadam. Anybody here want to sing tonight? Auntie Kamala will sing? Go sing. So the phase 2 of the Katha will continue. Just offer your prasad and so, and your flowers, whatever you have, and then we'll continue the Katha. Auntie Kamala will sing a bhajan.
Jai Narayan, Swami Narayan, Jai Narayan, Jai Jai Narayan, Narayan Hari Hari, Jai Jai Narayan, Narayan Swami Narayan, Narayan Hari Hari, Swami Narayan, Narayan Hari Hari. तेरी लीला सबसे न्यारी न्यारी हरि हरि. तेरी महिमा प्रभु है प्यारी प्यारी हरि हरि. जय जय नारायण नारायण हरि हरि. स्वामी नारायण नारायण हरि हरि. अलख निरंजन भव भय भंजन जन मन रंजन दास. मनरंजन दाता, हमें चरण के कर निर्भय के, सद निर्भय जग त्राता, कर निर्भय जग त्राता। तूने लाखों की नैया तारी तारी, हरि हरि जय जय नारायण नारायण, हरि हरि स्वामी नारायण नारायण, हरि हरि। प्रभु के नाम का पारस को छू ले, वो हो जाए सोला, वो हो जाए सोला। दो अक्षर के शब्द हरि है, लेकिन बड़ा सलोना, लेकिन बड़ा सलोना। उसने संगत डाली बारी बारी, हरि हरि जय जय नारायण नारायण, हरि हरि स्वामी नारायण नारायण, हरि हरि। तेरी लीला सबसे न्यारी न्यारी, हरि हरि जय जय नारायण नारायण, हरि हरि स्वामी नारायण नारायण, हरि हरि जय जय नारायण नारायण, हरि हरि।
बोले सत्यनारायण स्वामी की जय। नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि, तन्नो विष्णु प्रचोदयात्। सशङ्खचक्रं सकिरीटकुण्डलं सपीतवस्त्रं सरुसेरुहेक्षणम्। सहारवक्षस्थलकौस्तुभं श्रियं नमामि विष्णुं शिरसा चतुर्भुजं। नमामि विष्णुं शिरसा चतुर्भुजं। बोले विष्णु भगवान की जय।
So he lied about his wealth because he thought that somebody would want it. What happens now? Pravocham vachanandandi vilapantam nilokyacha marudi shrunumadvakyam mamachu puja bahirmukha mamagyacha durbuddhe labdam dukam muhurmuhu takshutva bhagavatyakyam stutim kartum samodhyata। ऐसे दामाद के बातें सुनकर साधु वैश्य दंडी स्वामी के पास गया और शीख भक्ति पूर्वक दंडवत किया। In our Hindu pujas, we have something called Kshama Pratna. After the skillful Pandajis who perform puja, they do this. After Shivji puja, what do? Karacharana kritam vaka yajam karmajam va श्रवणनयन जम्वा मानसंवा पराधम विहितम अविहितम वा सर्वमेत क्षमस्व जय जय करुणाब्धे श्री महादेव शंभो। ये क्षमा प्रार्थना है। क्षमा माने जो विहित हो या अविहित हो। इट मीन्स knowingly or unknowingly. Right? Knowingly or unknowingly. What does this mean? You can hurt somebody knowingly with something, right? If I take a lota and I'm I'm walking by there, Pandit Anil is sitting now right there, and I hold the lota in my hand and I'm walking like this. And if I want to knowingly hurt him, I'll swing the lota and hit his head. Budum. His head get on bungi panam. Or I may just unknowingly walk with the lota like this and hurt his head. Unknowingly, still get bungi panam. Bungi, you swell up. Knowingly or unknowingly, you commit an act. Yeah, sin is a sin. Knowingly or unknowingly, you commit it, you commit it. Similarly, if you do something good, for example, if a plant is there dried and does not have water, and you're fetching a bucket of water, and knowingly, you see the plant and you throw some water on it, the plant feels happy, it grows. Or if you're just walking, unknowingly, the water falls on the plant feels happy still. Knowingly or unknowingly, when you do good or bad, it is good or bad. So that's why at the end of our prayer, we do Kshama Pratna, which means, forgive me, Prabhu, forgive me if I have done something wrong. Vihitam avihitam ava sarvameta kshamasva. If I have done anything wrong with my kar, with my hands, kar, these hands. Karagre vasate Lakshmi. Right? What is the reason? Can I ask you this question? You have to kind of answer it in the mind. What is the reason a Hindu wears a thread on their hand? For what reason? Lots of reasons. Identity. Right? I was on social media today, Facebook a little bit, because I'm on social media a lot. I cannot tell you anything lie. What we do demands us to be there. I saw some chutney posts from last night, boy. The chutney things are all live. This thing says, raise your hand up, everybody, and everybody raise it. Well, you see that? People raise their hand up like this. All them hand get yagyupavit in it. All the Hindus are there at the chutney shows. That's where they are. You don't see Muslim people there. You don't see Christian people there. All the Hindus are there. Let's raise our hand in the air. Apparently that's a common thing. All the yagyupavit are there. I'm not against those shows and things like that. I'm just saying that that's what happened. This is an identity. Number one, it's an identity. When you wear this, you know your brother and sister, whoever's sitting beside you there, they're Hindu, right? Secondly, what is the purpose of this? This must represent restraint. Restraint. Because the minute you're going to leave these hands, karagre, na karacharana kritam, when you take these hands and you lift them to do something, your hands must be a reminder that I'm going to lift you to do something, but what is on my hand here? Yena baddho bali raja danuvindro mahabalam tena tvam abhibadnami rakshe machalam. Panditji, please tie a raksha on my hand to protect me. Tie this raksha to protect me. But what happened? The Panditji did his job. The raksha is on your hand. You have to do your job now and protect yourself. The minute you lift your hand like this to do something, and you see that raksha, remember your commitment you made in front of Bhagwan. My hands will not knowingly do something wrong. Not knowingly will I do something wrong. This is the second meaning of this raksha that you wear on your hand. Third, it is called sutra. Sutra means a thread. Raksha sutra. It is a thread. This thread, just like your Mangal Sutra, they're supposed to be taken off after a certain time. Because the energies go away, we become attached to it and say, I've gotten this since, I went to India and I went to a certain temple. That's emotional attachment. It doesn't mean a lot from an energy perspective, right? This here is supposed to be renewed ever so often, depending on what sadhanas you're doing, and so it's supposed to be renewed. The third reason why we wear Raksha Sut is for the energy that's inside. To those people who bless their Mangal Sutra, the tradition is every year or so, you have to take that Mangal Sutra to the temple. Panditji says some mantras, because that is Mangal Sutra. It is a thread of auspiciousness. This is Raksha Sutra. This is a thread of protection. If it wears away, it can protect you. So literally, we do things knowingly and unknowingly. But what is important to do is when you know that you have done something wrong, you ask for Kshama. Kshama means forgiveness. All of you, even in your prayers at your altar, when you finish offer your gel, your flower, whatever it is, just because mantrahinam, kriyahinam, bhaktihinam, janadhanam, we don't know mantras, we don't know much about devotion, Prabhu, we ask you to forgive us if we have made any mistakes in your worship. Because you are Antaryami, you know my heart, but my hands sometimes don't function properly. So what happens? They begged forgiveness from Bhagwan. Bhagwan refilled their boat with their wealth. They were happy. They did the puja of the Lord. ऐसी दंडी स्वामी का वचन सुनकर वैश्य स्तुति करता है. The Vaishya, the merchant, now start to pray. साधु वैश्य ने कहा कि हे प्रभु, आपकी माया से ब्रह्मादि सब देवता भी मोहित हुए हैं और वे भी आपके ऐश्वर्य कारक स्वरूप और गुणों का नहीं जानते. The merchant said rightly to him that, Lord, your disguise or your maya, your illusion, even the devatas cannot understand it. How is it that I will understand it? The Swami said, you don't have to understand much, just talk the truth. Just talk the truth, that's all. और वे तुम मूढ़ हो यानी मूर्ख हो, आपके माया से मोहित हुआ हो, इसलिए मैं आपको कैसे जानूं? How can I know you, my Lord, when your illusion is so much? अब मेरे अपराध को क्षमा कीजिए. Forgive me for the sins I have committed. मैं आपका अपने ऐश्वर्य के अनुसार पूजन करूंगा. And so he says, I'm going to do your puja. So he sat there and he did a Satya Narayan puja of the Lord. Prasann हुए. The Lord became very pleased. आगे दंडी स्वामी बनिया इतनी समझाकर, the Swami felt pleased because there was some honesty in his voice. और ऐसा इच्छित वर देकर सत्यनारायण प्रभु ने दंडी वेश में थे, सो वहीं पर अंतर्धाम हो गए हैं. और वैश्य ने नाव पर जाकर देखता तो नाव धन से भरी हो गई थी. I told you about that. He got back all his wealth. Now what is going to happen? They are going to now sail back to their home, right? Narayana, Hari Narayana. It's okay, Bhuvan, I'll manage. He's doing homework. Narayana, Satya Narayana. Everybody. Narayana, Hari Narayana. Narayana, Satya Narayana. Everybody. Narayana, Hari Narayana. Narayana, Satya Narayana. They're going back to the journey as we will one day go. Narayana, Hari Narayana. Narayana, Satya Narayana. Narayana, Hari Narayana. Narayana, Satya Narayana. Narayana, Hari Narayana. Narayana, Hari Narayana. Narayana, Satya Narayana. Narayana, Satya Narayana. Narayana, Hari Narayana. Narayana, Satya Narayana. Narayana, Hari Narayana. Narayana, Satya Narayana. Narayana, Satya Narayana. Narayana, Satya Narayana. बोले सत्यनारायण भगवान की. देवतोऽसो नगरं गत्वा साधु भर्या विलोक्य च प्रवोच वाञ्छितं वाक्यं नत्वा दध्वाञ्जलिस्तदा. निकटे नगरस्यैव जामात्रा सहितो बणिक् आगतो बन्धुवर्गैश्च वितैश्च बहुभिर्हुता. श्रुत्वा दूतमुखाद्वाकं महर्षयवती सती सत्यपूजां तथा कृत्वा प्रवोचा तनुजां प्रति. They were sailing back now, so they sent some messengers in advance to tell the wife, both of their wives, that they were returning. So they're in their boat, they're I didn't know they had engine boat or whatever, but they were going. So when they were going, what happened? The messenger went and told Lilavati, who is the mother, and Kalavati, that the merchant and the son-in-law is coming back. When Lilavati heard that her husband and her son-in-law is coming back, she was in the midst of her puja. She finished her puja and she did arti, prasad and so, and she ran towards her husband. Run towards her husband. When the message got to Kalavati, the daughter now, she didn't finish her puja, she didn't take prasad, she didn't do nothing. She get up in the middle of her puja and she ran to see her husband. What happened? Vrajami Shri Gramajhasya Sadhu Sundarshanaya Cha Iti Matra Vacha Shrutva Vratam Kritva Samapya Cha. Bhagwan, watch this kind of behavior. This is the important part I want to tell you about, right? The wife finished her puja, take her prasad, and she ran to see her husband, the merchant, embrace her husband, touch his feet, pranam kiya. But what happened? The husband, the son-in-law was left in the boat. You know what happened? The boat sank, and the son-in-law as well sank with the boat. Huh? The boat sank, and the son-in-law as well sank with the boat. Kalavati, the daughter, came now, and she was so frustrated. She starts to cry. How could this happen? Why did my husband have to suffer? And why did the boat sink like this? Right? You know there's something called distracted driving? Everybody know that? Distracted driving. You get charged for it, you know that. There is also something called distracted praying. Distracted praying. The old pandits, they were very strict with these things. When they sit down there, nobody could make noise and so the puja is done, because distracted praying is not praying. It's not praying. When you're distracted and you're doing puja and you disrespect that puja, it's better to not do puja at all. It's better to not. Kalavati, when she heard the news her husband is coming, she left the puja and she ran away. She disrespected the puja. She broke her sankalp. She broke her concentration. She did not eat the prasad of Satyanarayan Bhagwan. And what happened? The Lord sank the boat and the husband sank as well. One commentator of the Satyanarayan Katha would say, isn't Satyanarayan Bhagwan cruel? Isn't he cruel? Well, let's put Satyanarayan Bhagwan aside for a little bit. If you are driving and you have a phone in your hand and you're driving like this, and the police officer pulls you over, what is going to happen? You get a ticket for distracted driving. You must call the police cruel, because you're on the phone and you're driving. So much disrespect for the people on the road. You're on the phone and you're driving. Distracted driving, you get a penalty for that. When you show up at the border to travel, to go over another country, you think you can stand up in front of the border service agent who's interviewing you, holding your passport like this, and he say, what's your name? My name Hardat. Hey, and you're there all over the place like this. I say hi to people. No, especially the driving over border. They'll pull you over. They pull you over. You have to show respect. You have to give your attention to what you're doing. You think you could be driving on the road and just shift over the lane like this without even looking around you and paying attention? You think a surgeon can be doing surgery, and while doing surgery he's distracted to do all kinds of things in this world, go hug this and kiss that body and do this and do that? There'll be a penalty to pay for what is happening there. The point I'm trying to make is that in no other work that we do in this world is distracting permitted. You understand? It is not okay to be distracted when you're driving. It is not okay to be distracted in the court. No profession tells you if you're writing an essay, even you cannot be distracted. If you're writing a code, you cannot be distracted. In no other scenario in this world, it is okay to be distracted. But it is okay to be distracted when you sit down and do your puja. What happens? It's on the puja. This used to happen. I don't know if it happens still. People are coming right here. People walk in the temple. The first thing they got to do is go kiss all body was sit down on that side, and everybody are grown. They got to go kiss and hug them, but they forget to go do pranam to Bhagwan. right? When you're doing puja, it does not matter who come and who not come. The minute you sit down there to give your mankram vachan dhyan jo lawe, as Hanumanji Chalisa tells us, you're focused 100% on what you're doing. Because that is not everybody. That is Sarveshwar, Jagadishwar, Bhagavan. That is not your neighbor and your cousin and your auntie, right? You can't do that. That is, it is not okay. It is no Pandit should ever tell you that it is okay. It is no generation. No, that when we take that attitude, a time will come when we have nothing left in this culture. Because everybody goes sit down and they're on their phone when puja is doing and all these kinds of things, and the disrespect is given to Bhagwan. Bhagwan puja is a very important puja because that is not for him, that is for you. That is not for him, that is for you. In every other scenario in life, you are punished, you're penalizing for being distracted. When we were little in school, back, not here, little in primary school and so back home, you went teacher and a boy, you gotta watch like this. You have to be straight like an arrow. The minute you whisper, you talk like this, you get licks. The minute you're distracted, because they know the importance of that. Why is it that when puja is being done, there is so much distraction, my friends? People are socializing. People are taking pictures all over the place. They pose up. People are hug each other, kiss each other, while puja is happening in people's home, while puja is happening in the temple. This here is not a place to speak. You know, in many temples, you cannot talk in the temples. Talking is not permitted in the temple. You know, in real temples who hold up strict rules, when I do that here, people are vexed and now come back. I'm plain up, don't talk in the temple. Because you're being disrespectful to what is happening here. Don't talk. When service is going on, Katha is going on, don't be disruptive. You have outside 23 hours to talk outside. When you go downstage, you go talk belly full and eat belly full. When you go home, you go talk. Why is it that when puja is happening, people are so distracted? Even the people who are doing the puja, they cannot be distracted. It is not okay to do that. You understand? Right. So what are forms of distraction today? The phone thing. In a temple, people should not be in their phone unless you're a doctor or there's an emergency. Stay connected to what you're doing. Right? In a 2-hour puja in a home, right? People are sitting out to the 2-hour puja in a home. Halfway through the puja, 1 hour, you see somebody come out in a big case of water, bottled water, share, give everybody in the audience. There are situations when people have to drink water, whatever it is. But in a 2-hour, what is next? Pulauri and chana? And you know what people say? It's okay. There are situations where you have to drink, people have illness and all these kind of things. Don't get away with me saying it's not permitted. But what is next? Pulauri and chana? That will be okay next. Right? We have to show respect to what we're doing. The other day we were here, they had a big festival here. Myself and the Rajneesh, we sat on the chair there. Right there we sit down and wait. I just like to watch what's going on. And one man came, he stand up, he was taking darshan, he stand up in front of Hanumanji here. And he's like this. Right? He take blessing Hanumanji, and he go to Vishnu Bhagwan, he like this. And he go to the next one, he like this. And big puja is happening here, he like this. He go Shivji Bhagwan, he like this. What is that? What is that? He like this. That is distraction. Right? You sit to do your puja, try your best to focus 100% on what you're doing, because there is a penalty. Just like there is a penalty for everything else, there's a penalty for that. What happened in this situation here? When she started crying, Te darashta satyadeva bhartaram taranim tatha. Why did I say that this is the most practical part of the Satyanarayan Katha? Because this happens the most. When we go to a temple, there is a time for socializing, there's a time for talking, there's a time for meeting, there's a time for eating, there's a time for praying. When we are in here, we've got to maintain certain decorum. Most temples are like that. I know some temples, they'll tell you straight up, Don't talk in the temple. They point out, don't talk in the temple. In the temple we chant the Sahasranamam. In the temple we chant the Suktams, because the vibration of those chantings are left here, so that when we come, we just sit and we take advantage of those vibrating energies. And then you guys start, all your auntie, your look night, this and that, totally destroys the whole energy system in a temple. Don't speak when you're in a temple, right? At a puja, when you go to a puja, this is basic things I'm telling you. Walk in, go straight to the puja place where it is and bow down, because that is Bhagawan. And then go sit down quietly. Afterwards, you're going to eat and chat and thing. Right? You're going to talk about all kind of thing what we talk about. So what happened? Kalavati. Samhritam chaye dhanam sarhya jale tasya majattaya tatha kalavati kanya navilokya nijam patim shokena mahata tatra rudanti cha padattive drishtva tatha vidam navam kanyam na bahuda gitam. And worse, she did not eat the prasad of the Lord. Right? Another thing, when prasad is given to you, please accept it. You may not be able to eat it right away, but accept the prasad. In our temple, the tradition here is that the Panditji should be giving you prasad at the door, and accept it with the hands that are given you, because that's important. It's very important. But don't ever leave a place without at least partaking a little bit of the prasad. When the sadhu, tato lilavati kanyam drishtva sa valaya bhavat, when the sadhu, the merchant, saw what was happening, and he was told that the daughter left, and ran away to see her husband without finishing the puja, without completing the puja. You know something called Purnahuti, or puja has a process. There's something called Purnahuti. Purnahuti means full. That is when the Havan is done, and after the Havan is done, everybody stand up. Murdhanam devo aratim pratavya vaishwanaramitam ajatamagnim. That's the Vedic mantra. Nowadays people say Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamadachyate. That's okay too. That's not Purnahuti mantra, but the whole idea, Purnahuti means you do the final act to complete your puja. Tomorrow we do Purnahuti. Tomorrow is the completion of Satyanarayan Katha. Right? So what happens? The father realized that Purnahuti was not done. He realized, and what he did, he told the daughter, Kalavati, go back to that puja place. Go back to that puja place, finish your puja, finish your prayers, eat the prasad of Satyanarayan Bhagavan, and then when you finish, you must come. What happened? Satya devasya mahatmyam gyatum vakena shakyate ityuktva vilalapaiva tatascha swajane saha tato lilavati kanyam krodhe krutva ruradaha tata kalavati kanyam nashte swamini dukkhitam. When they performed, when she went and completed her puja and ate the prasad, then what happened, my friend? Bhagwan Satyanarayan Ji resuscitated. Bring her back the boat. Her husband, of course, was there. And what happened? Satya pujam karishyami yatha vibhava bhavistare. What is the message here? The message is that we should not take God's work as a plaything, as a toy. This thing here, it appears simple to a lot of people. And you think that's all there is to it. But when you're sitting in front of the Lord, you're sitting in front of the King of Kings. When you sit in front of her, you're sitting in front of the Queen of Queens. Have some decorum. Have some respect. And if nobody else wants to have it, at least you should have it. People who go to temple and listen to Katha, you all learn to do these things, right? Because if you don't do it, then what is the purpose of this all? It's like a social extravaganza, really. Pujas and satsang these days and weddings are more of a social event than it has ever been. I'm telling you that. I'm not saying bad talking what happened thing. But puja is more of a social event. You gotta show up because somebody invite you. So you gotta show up. But when you go there, at least by the time the puja has been done, behave yourself in a certain way. Never do puja because your uncle or your auntie said, do house puja last year, and you gotta do it to cleanse some guilt. That's not the reason for doing it. Do it to fulfill that thirst of attachment you have for Prabhu. When you're thirsty, you drink water. When you're thirsty for his darshan, darshan do ghanshyam nath more akhiyan pyasi re darshan do ghanshyam नाथ मोरे अखियाँ प्यासी रे दर्शन दो घनश्याम. Give me a darshan, O Sham. Give me a darshan, O Ram, because अखियाँ प्यासी रे. पानी पीकर प्यास बुझा जो नयनन को कैसे समझा दो. When the body is thirsty, we drink water to quench the thirst of the body. But when the eyes are thirsty, what do you do to quench the thirst of the eye? Naynan ko kaise samjha do? How will an eyes understand that philosophy? Because you can't pour water in the eye. When the eyes are thirsty, water comes from the eyes. When the body is thirsty, water goes into the body. But when the eyes are thirsty, water comes from the eyes. That is an opportunity for us to do the focusing and get the blessings of the Lord. Take it seriously, my friends. And what happened here now? Kshipram tadha gritam gatva prasada cha bubhovacha sa paschat punaragatya darshasam janam pitim. और what happened here? इस तरह कन्या का वचन सुन करके वैश्य संतुष्ट हुआ. उसी समय वही पर सत्यनारायण प्रभु का विधि पूर्वक पूजन करके द्रव्य और बंधजनों के सहित आनंद पूर्वक घर को आया. बाद और पूर्णमासी और संक्रांति के बारंबार सत्यनारायण प्रभु का पूजन करने लगा. After that day, in their home, in the merchant's home, every single Purnima, every single month, they perform Satyanarayan Bhagwan Puja. Every single month, they perform. And what happened here? शौनकादि ऋषियों ने सूजी महाराज कहते हैं कि इस प्रकार साधु वैश्यव्रत को प्रभाव से इस लोक में सुख भोग कर अंत में सत्यपुर यानी वैकुंठ को प्राप्त हुआ. And what happened after the merchant died? After the merchant died, his punyas were so much. He made mistakes, he lied and things like that. But what happened? His punyas were so much after every month of puja that he went to Vaikunt Bhagwan Vishnu after he died. Bole Satyanarayan Swami ki. Every month in this temple, and I'm sure in many other temples, Satyanarayan Bhagwan Puja is done. Try make it an effort to be at the place where Satyanarayan Bhagwan Puja is done. It's so important to our livelihood. It's so important to our soul. It is so important to our upliftment. It's so important to our wealth. It is important to our mental and physical health. Find a place where it is done and be there. And if you can't be there, at least observe some vrat on that day. Vrat does not mean only starving yourself. Only a few people can do that. But vrat means satya vratam satya param trisatyam. Don't lie in your lives. Somebody asked me one day, Panditji, do you lie? Right? Because when you tag them things to say, people go think you're a sadhu and thing, right? I said, I lie when it is convenient. I lie. Now everybody raise up their eye and say, what is this? I say, I lie when it is convenient. Now how does that happen? Let me throw this to you. If Pandit Anil is inside here, right? Satsanga is happening here. And I go outside to take a little fresh air and so. And there comes a man in a motorbike, blood in his hands with a cutlass. Eyes are just raging. And he says, hey, is Anil inside there? I'm looking for him right now. What am I going to say? No. Absolutely, I'm going to say no. Right? Because if I do Satya, if I say the truth, he's going to come and he's going to do that. So the question I said was, I lie when it is convenient. You remember the story of Satyavrata in the Devi Bhagavad? Satyavrata, he took a vrat that he will speak the truth all the time. So he sat and he was meditating. Om, I am Hrim Klim Chamundai Viche, I am Hrim Klim Chamundai Viche. And a boar were running with an arrow stuck in it. The boar was limping like this, bleeding. The boar came and stood in front of the Satyavrata. He only speaks the truth. The boar went into the right-hand direction, this direction. The hunter came, raging afterwards. Hey, you man, you are known to speak the truth. Tell me where the boar went. Did the boar went that way or the boar went that way? The sadhu, he has to speak the truth. But if he speaks the truth that the boar went here, the man is going to go kill the boar. So his truth is going to cost the life of somebody else. If he says that the boar went this direction, he'll be lying. So what did he do? He tells the man, the hunter, I saw where the boar went, but my eyes can't speak. So my eyes can't tell you where the boar went. My mouth can speak, but my mouth did not see where the boar went. That's a very political answer. I saw it, but eyes can't speak. Mouth can speak, but mouth did not see where the boar went. My point here is that we all know what is right and what is wrong. Right? Speaking the truth, we are always so careful. I'm going to speak the truth about him. I'm going to reveal the truth about him. I'm going to reveal the truth about them. But we forget to reveal the truth about ourselves. We forget to reveal the truth about ourselves. Satya is a vrat. If you can't at least attend the puja, then do some sort of vrat. And Satya is a vrat that you can do every day. Every single day you can speak the truth and you can create harmony in people's lives. This ends the 4th chapter of Satya Narayan Vrata Puja in the Skanda Puran. And tomorrow we talk about the 5th Katha. Tomorrow is a very big day here. We start puja at 5:30 because Ganpati Puja, Kalash Bhagwan Puja, and then we go straight to Ma Ganga and then to Satyanarayan Bhagwan Abhishekam, bathing everybody, and then we go over to Shivji Bhagwan. So while they're dressing them over there, we do Shiv Puja, Rudram Abhishekam. Very busy afternoon, so we want to make sure that we spend our time wisely here. Lessons learned this evening: focus on your puja. Don't lie about the status of your life. It is what it is. Do not be distracted in puja. You're punished everywhere else. You'll be punished for distraction as well. When you're in the temple environment, respect it. Of course, you can say hi, hello, and thing, but don't talk in the temple. Don't carry on a conversation in the temple. Those are the lessons we learned. Always accept the prasad of the Lord. Always do your purna puja, your full puja. Just like you sleep full and you eat your belly full, you must always pray full as well. The Lord's work is not a plaything, it's not a game. This here is serious. So Bhagwan is here to reward all of you and to bless all of you. And he has blessed all of you with so much that you're going to give us back something on November 13th. I'm inviting all of you to come to our dinner on November 13th. This is my 100% focus in life. I don't know what else I can do. We have called people, we have broadcasted this, but Bhagwan has always supported us. Bhagwan has never let us down. I'm so, where we were here, 4.5 years ago, where we were and we are today, we're such in a comfortable place. We're happy. I stress 1-2 times from the temple because it comes naturally. I lost a little here, and things like that, that's fine. But at least our temple is in a comfortable place. You know, I sleep in the night because we know Bhagwan has provided for us. Bhagwan has provided, and Bhagwan continue to provide for us. None of us get paid in this place. I don't get a penny. As a matter of fact, the amount of money we have to give to make things happen here, you know how many things we buy for this temple, we don't even claim it back. Because this is our seva. If I want people to work 100%, I have to work 200%. If I want somebody to stay here 4 hours and work, I have to stay here 8 hours and work. Because they must see commitment from me, and then they become motivated. We will lose volunteers, and we will gain volunteers. You know, in a time like this, when people don't want to work in this world, you can't get people to work, you pay them to work and they can't work, we're still having people doing voluntary work here. Right, so we're very happy about that, we're very thankful about that, and we will grow every day. Because what we do here, it's very genuine, it's very sincere. We're all very simple people with simple lifestyles, and I think we can help the temple coming up November 13th. After November 13th, there are nothing big happening in the temple. Of course, people get busy with shopping and things like that, so not a lot of focus is put here, but we have a lot going on here. It becomes our planning session for 2023. We talk about our first big event, which is Mahashivratri, and I am so excited about Mahashivratri. Tomorrow night, I'll tell you what will happen. I am so excited that this is the biggest thing we'll probably ever do here for Mahashivratri. It falls on a Saturday, which gives us a lot of leeway on what we can do. We can do pujas in the morning, we can bring out 1,000 people here, let them go home and rest, and let them come back in the night again. Thank you all for your support. Thank you all for your love. Thank you all for your donations. Thank you all for your volunteering. Those hands that sweep this place, those hands that mop this place, those hands, Kamo and Sabita's hands, who cook so many nights for us here, their hands are always blessed. The people who do all the work here voluntarily, the men who fix, look how beautiful our temple is looking, the pillars outside, you see them? They're so nicely put, the stones, everything is so nicely done, free. Bless their life, bless their family's life, and whatever you can do to help us in terms of voluntary work, we'll always appreciate it. We'll see all of you tomorrow evening for Maganga Puja and Satya Narayan Bhagwan Puja. We start at 5:30. Please come whenever you can. Bole Satya Narayan Swami ki jai. I invite all of you now to do Aarti. Please stand.
Om yani kani cha papani janmantar kritani cha tani sarvani nashyantu pradakshinam pade. हे सत्य नारायण स्वामी हमरे दुख हरो बेरा पार करो प्रभु जी बेरा पार करो सत्य नारायण स्वामी हमरे दुख हरो बेरा पार करो प्रभु जी बेरा पार करो तुम हो देव दया के सागर अब उद्धार करो बेरा पार करो प्रभु जी बेरा पार करो अजर अमर अविचल अविनाशी घत घत के वासी प्रभु तुम घत घत के वासी जन्म जन्म से तुम्हारे दर्श की अखिया है प्यासी प्रभु जी अखिया है प्यासी सत्य सनातन परम ब्रह्म हरि हम पर कृपा करो बेड़ा पार करो प्रभु जी बेड़ा पार करो सदानंद ब्राह्मण की प्रभु जी तुमने कष्ट हरे प्रभु जी तुमने कष्ट हरे लक्रिहार भी लाके तुमने कारज सिद्ध करे प्रभु जी कारज सिद्ध करे है तूफानों में जीवन नैया तरपत ध्यान धरो बेड़ा पार करो प्रभु जी बेड़ा पार करो है सत्य नारायण स्वामी हमरे दुख हरो बेड़ा पार करो प्रभु जी बेड़ा पार करो बेड़ा पार करो हे प्रभु जी बेड़ा पार करो त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृति स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वर गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः सतो मा सद्गमय तम सोमा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम प्रेम से बोलो श्री गणपति भगवान की पवन सुत हनुमान की सिया भज रामचंद्र की लक्ष्मी नारायण भगवान की राधा कृष्ण भगवान की श्री गंगा मैया की यमुना मैया की गौ माता की श्री भारत माता की सत्य सूर्यनारायण स्वामी की सत्यनारायण स्वामी की सरस्वती माता की महालक्ष्मी माता की श्री जगदम्बिका दुर्गा माता की जय नमः पार्वती पतये हर 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 महादेव शंभो सत्य सनातन धर्म की सब कोई जय जय सीताराम Please take our tea and prasad at the door. Bhojan is prepared for you all. Please go downstairs and eat and bless our temple.